guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Wendy, your girl. Wendy. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you're a new subscriber, please join my family. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and like this video. This video is actually going to be in like one of the Bible study videos, just a motivational video. And I am really sorry for not uploading recently, but I will explain why in this video. So let's get right into it. So guys, the title for this video is Starting Over. I actually thought this whole time the reason why I was not recording a video is because I was really worried. I was like, what am I gonna record? It's the first video. And I was really stressed. And actually I have an Instagram page for my clothing store, and it's been disabled, guys, and now I have to literally start again. And it just made me think also about this title, about starting over, because I've been thinking about it and then this happened just on my lap. So that's the title, Starting Over. So I've written down a few pointers, so when I'm looking down, please just be aware that I'm actually reading some of the points. And I got my Bible here to relate a verse to this topic. So first of all, I just want to say it is okay to start over. Sometimes we want to start over and start afresh, and we fear doing that because we always associate the first thing or the first phase as a failure. We always feel like, oh, I failed, or we associate it as a loss. But we need to remember that it is okay to start over. It's not everything that is gone that is a failure or that is a loss. It's really important to understand that. And I feel like most of the time people feel like, oh, I need to start afresh, oh, I need to start over, oh my gosh, it's a loss, oh my gosh, I failed, oh my gosh, this. No, not everything that requires you to start again the first time was not a loss, and it's not a failure. Always remember that. And I know starting over can sometimes be uncomfortable, especially because we associate it as a loss. Starting over can be uncomfortable, and you can be so fearful. You feel like, oh, I might fail again this time. Oh, it might not work out again this time. And we put all of these negative thoughts into our mind. And it's always important to understand, when you start over, you have to let go. Let go of those negative thoughts. Let go of the fear of failing. Let go of the expectations you put on yourself. Sometimes you look at people and you're like, oh, this guy is 23 and he's already got everything. He's established, his life is going. First of all, stay in your own lane. Don't compare your journey to other people's journey, and let go. Let go and let God. You don't need to start worrying and putting pressure on yourself, unnecessary pressure, by feeling like, oh, what will people say? Oh, what if this person was right? What will they be like? Oh my gosh, I told you wouldn't be able to do that, but you still went ahead and just did it anyway. Guys, let go. The next point that I wrote down here is part of starting over is knowing what to take in and what not to take in. So it's really important mentally, spiritually, physically, in every aspect, emotionally. It's really important what you put into your mind. It's really important that you don't put some unexpected and unnecessary expectations on yourself. It's really important that you understand. It's really important that you understand that what you put inside of yourself, what you used to invest in your mind, in your emotions, is something that will bear fruit. So you need to put good fruit, good thoughts into your mind and into your life. Starting afresh, Sometimes for something to start, not sometimes, for something to start, something has to come to an end. But remember, the end of something is not always a failure, or it's not always a loss. The end of something that you feel like you did not accomplish anything from it doesn't necessarily mean it was not valuable or fruitful in your life. And the next point I wrote down is that we sometimes feel like we have to start over and have nothing valuable for us to start with. Like just how I explained to you that my first clothing store for my Instagram page, my business, the first page was already closed and it didn't have as many followers, and already it closed and I need to start again. And asking myself questions like, oh my gosh, where am I gonna get the customers? Oh my god, where am I gonna do this? You know, that sometimes we feel like losing something or failing in something, you then feel like you have nothing to kind of start again with, you know, because you see everything around you as useless or dead, or you feel like it's not valuable, you know. And this is where this verse comes in actually. Before I read this verse, it's really important to understand that in your eyes it's nothing, but in God's eyes it's something. God doesn't need you to have everything. You don't need to have all the finances. You don't need to have all the people. You don't need to have all the investors, every single thing. You don't need all the equipment. You do not need all the resources. You just need the little that you have. That's all he needs, and he will take care of the rest. This verse is from 2 Kings 4, and it talks about Elisha and the widow's oil. It says, a certain woman of the wives of the sons of the prophets cried out to Elisha, saying, your servant, my husband, is dead, and you know that your servant feared the Lord, and the creditor is coming to take my 2 sons to be his slaves. So Elisha said to her, what shall I do for you? What do you have in your house? And she said, your maidservant has nothing in the house but a jar of oil. Then he said, go borrow vessels from everywhere, from all your neighbors, empty vessels. Do not gather just a few. And when you have come in, you shall shut the door behind you and your sons, then pour it into all those vessels and set aside the full ones. So she went from him and shut the door behind her and her sons, who had brought the vessels to her, and she poured it out. Now it came to pass, when the vessels were full, that she said to her son, bring me another vessel. And he said to her, there's not another vessel. So the oil ceased. Then she came and told the man of God, and he said, go sell the oil and pay your debt, and you and your sons live on the rest. This verse is so important because this woman is a widow and she lost her husband, and she felt like all she has is her 2 children, and the debtors are coming to take those 2 sons as slaves. And when she came to the prophet Elisha, she said to him, you know, he said, what do you want me to do? What do you have in your house? And she said, I have nothing but oil. Nothing in my house but a jar of oil. You know, sometimes as people, we feel like everything around us is not valuable. And many people could overlook that little thing they have. Luckily, this woman did not overlook that jar of oil. It's 1 jar of oil, and that's all she had. Sometimes even the only thing that you have, you overlook it because you think it does not have value. And sometimes God just needs the little thing that you have, only what you have. And when he does that, he will give you instruction, because the prophet then said to her, go and borrow vessels from your neighbors and gather them, empty vessels, and do not gather just a few. You know, sometimes you have a little bit and God says, go and ask for this, and plenty. You know, it's like a contradiction. I have a jar of oil and you want me to go get empty vessels, and you want me to get a lot of them. How are they gonna be filled up? It's a natural question that anyone would ask themselves, you know. And he told her to then close the door behind her and close it with her sons and fill the vessels. And you know, it's important that we understand this woman did as she was told. Sometimes God just needs the little that you have, but you need to be obedient. You need to be obedient and have faith, because as she was pouring into those vessels, those many vessels, from just a jar of oil, it started to fill each and every single jar until there was nothing left and it ceased. I think this verse is a beautiful verse, because like I was saying, sometimes you don't need everything. You just need the little that you have, and let go of what people will think. You know, this woman could have just said, what will my neighbors think? As a widow, I'm coming to ask for jars, and they're empty jars. What will my neighbors think? What will people think when I'm collecting all these oils? You know, that's something we like to do. We like to say, what will people think? So what? It doesn't matter what people think. You were given an instruction. You were given a route, a path, something to follow. You are being guided. And so when you're being obedient and you do that, the Lord is now able to bless you. And she was blessed with the jars, the vessels being filled up with oil that just came from one jar. And this is so important, because sometimes we think God is gonna provide for us with just money magically appearing in the bank, or like investors just, you know, you're sleeping, you wake up, then they're there, they're like, hi, I'm here for your business. No, it doesn't work like that. It's a journey. This woman had to go through the journey of going to the prophet Elisha, speaking to the prophet, seeing what she had, and it was only a jar. And then she was given instructions to collect vessels with her sons, and she did that, and she closed up, and she's holding just one jar, and these vessels are supposed to be filled. You know, in the process of that, she had to have faith, because just pouring into jars and you just into vessels and you just have one jar is just like, it, when is it gonna run out? You know? And another thing, sometimes God gives you something, and you know, this woman, when the son said there are no jars, there are no vessels left, the oil ceased. And it's very easy for someone to just want to continue pouring, to be like, God, I don't know when I'm gonna have this opportunity again. But even when God answers your prayer, even when he provides, there's a season for everything. The oil had to cease. It had to come to an end, because now she had to go and sell the oil. That's another instruction. She had to go and sell the oil so that God can bring in the customers who buy the oil, so that she can pay her debt, and so that her and her sons can live off of it. So sometimes we want to keep what God is giving us, but it's just seasonal. A seed can't be in the soil forever. Eventually it needs to grow into a plant. And sometimes you want it to be a plant forever, but sometimes you just want it to just, you know, even it's going to get to a point where it needs to bear fruit. And when it bears fruit, they too now need to reproduce. And sometimes we want to keep things to ourselves, but we forget that it's all for a period, it's all for a season. So guys, when starting over, remember, you do not need everything. You just need the little that you have, and God will take care of the rest. But in the process, remember, it's a journey. You have to be obedient. You have to have faith, and you need to know to let go. Let go of all the things that are becoming a barrier in you walking this journey. Let go of the thoughts, the negative thoughts, the expectations that you placed on yourself. But also, when the things that God has given to you come to an end, let go gracefully, because he's now teaching you another task. He's now giving you another task and giving you something else. Had she kept pouring oil, maybe the people who were supposed to buy the oil from her wouldn't have come. It's important to be obedient. Maybe the people she's selling oil to are the people who are going to help her sons out in the future. You never know who it is you're gonna sell oil to. But if you keep wanting to fill vessels, even when there are no vessels left, just because you're worried about running out again, you may lose the next blessing that God has for you. And the next blessing for her was paying her debt and having enough to provide for her sons. So guys, I hope this message motivated you to start over, to not doubt yourself, and most importantly, use the little that you have. Trust in God, be obedient, have faith, and let go. Let go and let God. Go on this journey with me, guys, because I also need to let go and let God. You know, whatever it is, whatever situation it is, let go and let God. It's okay to start over. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please give it a thumbs up, comment below, like, subscribe, and share. And most importantly, see you in the next video. Bye!